The kidnapping of Saya and Sarah. Now a New York State Trooper, Officer Saya Rivasvar, has shared her kidnapping story from 1988 in hopes to help others and bring awareness to the dangers of the people that are around them. Her story continues to encourage those who hear it. Sarah and Saya Rivasvar. In 1988, 8-year-old Saya and her 6-year-old sister Sarah were kidnapped by their mother's ex-boyfriend, Warfield Wyke Jr., who also went by the nickname Ray. At the time, the two girls were living in Pensacola, Florida, with their mother, Patricia, and little brother, Arish Rivasvar. The children suffered abuse and neglect at the hands of their mother, who was more obsessed with going out, partying, and using drugs, alcohol. Saya was often left to look after of her two younger siblings because of their mother's neglect. Saya's mother began dating Wyke a year earlier in 1987. Saya recalls quickly sensing that this man was weird as a child for several reasons. First, he preferred the company of children, which is odd since he is a full-grown man. Saya said that he would also come into the room she shared with her sister as they tried to sleep. Saya also stated that a year before the kidnapping, Wyke molested her on multiple occasions. On the night of September 22, 1988, while the girl's mother was out, Wyke used a crowbar and snuck into the family's apartment. He then proceeded to grab Saya as she slept and carry her out to his car. Saya says she remembers opening her eyes to see Wyke carrying Sarah to the car, but she was tired and fell back to sleep. He then drove both girls into the woods. When Wyke got the two young girls alone, he took Saya out of the car and repeatedly raped her on the trunk as Sarah remained in the car. After the rape, Saya says that Wyke took both her and her sister further into the woods. That is where he told her to say her prayers and proceeded to slit her throat, barely missing her jugular vein. Saya recalls this moment, saying she looked down and saw blood on her hands, then fell to the ground. In this moment, Saya made the smart decision to play dead as Wyke began attacking Sarah. Saya says she remembers laying on the ground and hearing her sister screaming and crying and feeling the ground moving from her kicking and struggling until she didn't feel any movements anymore. After attacking the young girls, Wyke walked over Saya's body, thinking she was dead, and left once he was away. Saya ran to help her sister, but came to realize there was nothing she could do. So 8-year-old Saya began walking down the road on her own, trying to find help. The following morning, an older couple were driving down the road, and they spotted the 8-year-old flagging them down, waving one hand in the air and using the other to hold her throat where she had been cut. They quickly grabbed Saya and called 911 for help, rushing to the nearest hospital. At the hospital, detectives asked Saya what happened, and she explained that she and her sister were attacked by a man named Ray, and that her sister was killed. It was also determined that Saya had suffered a cut throat, obviously, and to lacerations to her vagina, consistent with forced penetration. Police later found Sarah's body about 75 feet from the dirt road, where Saya was picked up. When her body was found, Sarah's hands were tied behind her back and her throat was severely cut. Evidence was found all around the crime scene, which include pieces of a shirt, tire tracks, footprints, and blood stains.